We are the true masters of the Earth sphere.
Two death.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sleepwalker once again with the Two Death Podcast. I got my boy John and a special guest today. Why don't you boys say hi?
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Today, guys, we have one of our original OG clan members. He's been right along with me when we, back in the day when Two Death was just a gaming clan. We were throwing LAN parties in his garage. So he's a big part of the Two Death family, guys. He's been one of our biggest sources of support and love. And so I want to welcome everybody, Austin Shane, to the Two Death Podcast.
Hey, what's up? Luke Stone.
Hey, speak up, bro.
Thank you all.
Speak up.
Thank y'all. How y'all been, man?
Yeah, that's right. Let
Doing
people
good.
hear you. Let it ring.
Let it rain.
You got to say it with your chest.
Yep.
All right, fellas. So it's been, more than a week. We know that. We know that we were all taking off for Mother's Day because we all had mothers in our lives we had to honor. I'm sure you did, John.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mother's Day was definitely filled with showering my wife and making her feel special. So definitely couldn't get away and take her night away while I recorded a podcast. So today is kind of is going to be our ode to Mother's Day, like a lot of things. So we all have a lot of gamer moms and our own mothers who had to put up with us being gamers as children, and then our girlfriends and wives that have to deal with us gamers as adults. So we're going to kind of give them some love and respect and talk about all three of us and the gamer moms and gamer girls that we have in our life.
That's
Yeah, just a side joke, man. Just a side joke from that. Besides the gaming, it's like you saying Mother's Day and how it is. It was funny because you was saying, showering your wife, but when I was out getting Mother's Day gifts for my old lady, obviously, I got quite a bit, and they was asking me, well, your old lady looks like she's about to get spoiled. I was like, well, hey, that's what happens when you have two baby mamas. So, yeah, I had to get Aiden something for his mom, so. But it's all about the mothers.
Exactly.
Well, we actually kind of had a little sad situation with ours. Of course, we got to shower my wife with a bunch of love, got to let her sleep in and kind of do whatever she wanted to do that day. But my own mother, she was supposed to come over and do social, kind of visit social distancing and all that. And we bought her flowers and all this other stuff, and she ended up actually going into the hospital for about 4 days.
I saw that on Facebook. She all right?
Yeah, she's all right now. She had a blood clot in her foot, and it was like cutting off circulation to her toes. Man, got pretty dicey there for a little bit. Thought we were gonna lose some toes on her, but she got the surgery done and got the blood clot removed, and
Good.
doing okay now.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, man. I saw it on Facebook, and it didn't sound like it was super serious. But now you're talking about getting toes removed, and that's always serious, bro. Because if we're talking about removing limbs, that's.
She sent a picture, bro. Her big toe was like black.
Oh.
They said she was probably another day out or so. She probably lost that big toe.
Man, that's nasty. Bro. Well, it's good that you got that solved. I mean, I know on my Mother's Day, he didn't have any kids, but we just, we still. I still kick it. I didn't kick it with my mom, but I called her, spoke to her, had a, nice conversation and everything with her, make sure she knows I love her. I mean,
shout out to Miss Candace. We love you, Miss Candace.
Shout out to Olivia Inspirations over there. She heads that up. She's making masks. If y'all want some.
Well, then how are you?
What?
Yeah. So how are your mothers or your wives or significant others with you all playing video games? Or how are they with it?
I'll let you take that one, Sleep.
Oh, you would take that one, Slick? Well, I have a little bit different situation than you two guys because you guys got like a family and kids and everything like that. You all got wives. Me with just a girlfriend. Honestly, Key is very cool with me playing games. She paints. So if I'm like over her house or anything like that, she'll just start painting, and then I'll just play the game, and we'll still be in the same room, talking to each other. But at the same time, she was really getting away with me playing games. And plus, I have a thing where I have a self clock saying I think it's been long enough. We need to do something else. Just
same.
Just so I know she's gonna get annoyed if I just play it all day. So I just have a little clock saying, all right, it's time to put it up. Let's go ahead and watch something or interact.
Now she plays with you sometimes, don't she?
Yeah, we played Overcooked last night. On I don't know if you all know what that is. Austin, you don't know if you know that. It's an indie game, and it's basically like a date game for two people because you're a boy and a girl chef, and they have these like little puzzles where you have to cook and then put the order out, but like the little kitchen moves around, like sometimes it's a volcano and stuff like that, or it's like on two trucks and it's like a little puzzle and you gotta cook this food and get out the order while you're doing it. It's really fun. We both played it. She enjoyed it.
That's pretty cool. Now, how about your mom, Sleepy? How was your mom growing up? I know Miss Candace was pretty strict with you guys. How did she feel about video games and all that when you were growing up?
My mom hated every single game that I could even think. Like, dude, this is what happened. And I know my mom put my dad up to this because my dad is a computer man, and for him to come home and say this to me, it's like one of the most ridiculous things ever. Because the TV went out, right? And then my dad came home and said, well, the TV guy said that because you all hooked the video game up to it, it ruined the TV. And we all just looked at him like, I know we're 12, but that just sounds like...
I've heard that excuse.
The large...
Like, really, Dad? Really, Dad?
Yeah, really. I was like, because you're a computer guy. And you look at... I'm 12, and I'm looking at you like, come on, bro. Like, and I know my mom put it
I've heard that excuse, and the next thing you know is the AV cord's missing. It's not even plugged up to the TV.
And then, they get that old janky TV and put it in the back room. Y'all can play on that. Don't play on the and my mom, she just couldn't stand it. And eventually, she just, had to get used to it. Because, I grew up into a man who plays video games.
I grew up into a man
who also plays video games.
Well, John, what about you, man? Because, you got, now with you, you just starting everything to the pandemic. You got, two children, and, I know you're an active family man, and...
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm pretty lucky, man. Overall, my wife is really cool with it. She's very supportive of the hobbies and stuff. So, like she got me a Switch for my birthday with Breath of the Wild, and very very often gets me a new controller or that new game that I want or whatever. So she gives me time. I think her biggest thing, as long as I am an active father, as long as I'm not disregarding my father duties or my help around the house or help her duties, as long as it's kind of a healthy situation. I do get kind of in this situation where a lot of my single friends don't quite understand because my gaming has to happen at nighttime. So it's kind of the same exact reason why our podcast starts at 9 o'clock on a Sunday is because, I have to wait till after my kids are asleep and all that kind of stuff. So usually I get between 9 and when I go to sleep to play if I want to play video games. So, but she's pretty cool. Now I'll tell you, Two Duck Gaming obviously is more than just video games, and something that we're really big about in our family is board games. And we play all kinds of different types of board games. And Tanner's, she's really good at a lot of them. So she whoops my ass in Rummikub quite often. And
I think
she plays some video games.
I think board games are something that like almost anyone, because even your parents can get into that. That's something that they recognize. And I think the video game's just a little complicated for them.
It's just the digital version of the board games,
Yeah.
But she plays all kinds of board games. Pretty much anything she's down for. In the video game world, she plays like she loves Wii Sports, like Wii Bowling. She wrecks it in Wii Bowling. I almost wanted to throw a tournament in Wii Bowling just so I could watch her win it. It'd be she dominates, bro. And she'll play little stuff like
play Guitar Hero.
Yeah, she'll play little fun games. Like she'll play like Mario Kart or something like that, maybe Mario Party. But she don't really. Jackbox games. She loves Jackbox games.
Jackbox is dope though. Like I really like Jackbox because everybody can kind of get into that, and it's a little fun game that almost anyone can play as long as they have a phone or electronic device.
Well, see, my mother, she didn't really care a whole lot about video games coming up or whatever, and I had kind of a unique situation growing up. But she did definitely. She plays checkers and plays gin rummy and stuff like that. She taught me how to play rummy and taught me how to play checkers and all that kind of stuff. So she's also a board game person. And she kind of fell into the cell phone, Facebook gaming world of the Farmvilles and the,
Paydays and everything. And
Right.
The dark
Yeah,
side.
I get She was blowing
That's
up
how my mom got
notifications.
in.
I had 36 notifications, and they're all my mom trying to get a fucking turnip on Farmville or some shit.
You
So
send
she
her,
played that. She went through her phase.
you send her a message back, and you be like, "All right, you get Harvest Moon, or don't talk to me." All right, you get a real game. You get a Sega Genesis, and you put some Harvest Moon on it, or else we're not doing this. You know what I'm saying?
If I get another request, I will burn all of your crops.
You'll never get watered again.
You just send her like a meme, like a gif of Assassin's Creed, and he's just burning a field or something like that.
No,
Like,
but
I'm
I will
sending you a
say,
gift of D&T, killing everything.
no, but I will say that overall, I definitely am pretty lucky. My wife's kind of in the new ground. She's very supportive of it as long as my time and my focus and my real priorities with her. I mean, she has to be pretty much of a champ. I came to her with this idea of starting a business called 2Death Gaming, and she really didn't know what I was talking about or what it was all about. And she's been very supportive and ride or die with it. So she's, been my number one biggest fan this whole time. So I'm definitely lucky to have that kind of
Cool.
situation in my life, because I have a lot of friends whose wives and girlfriends are not cool with video games at all. So.
Well, those women need hobbies. That's what they need.
But what about you, Austin? Man, you're in a similar situation as me. You got even more kids than I got. So,
Man, me here, I mean, it's kind of all neutral because, again, I got a 10-year-old stepdaughter and a 9-year-old son, and I mean, they both got their own Xboxes and they game too, and a lot of times, when I am gaming, she'll let me game a lot of times because, again, when she's at work, I'm at home taking care of the kids. I'm not really gaming or nothing like that. So on the weekend, she kind of lets me have my time. But, for me, the way I don't leave her out is obviously, with the mics these days, you can fix them, where they can pick up a lot of background noise too. So I'll just make it to where my chat's through the TV and, she's kind of conversating, with the group chat too. So she's not really feeling left out. When I do that, she's pretty chill with me playing for a while, because again, she's not being left out, but then again, I'm still able to, play with y'all, play with the clan and everything. So,
right. Well, that's another
other
big
than
thing.
that,
That's another big thing for us too. Is I got my gaming center set up in the living room, so I'm in the same room as her too, so I don't have to go off into a gaming room that's isolated away from everyone to play.
yeah, and I mean, it's pretty easy. And if she don't want to watch, she just, watches her shows or whatever. And I mean, the younger one, Ollie, he'll just sit between my legs and watch her play or something like that. And I mean, yeah, other than that, I'm pretty lucky too. Again, though, with the things with our age and our generation, we grew up in this, the people we're with and who we are grew up in the same generation we did, where video games was the upcoming thing that everybody had to play. Everybody kind of had to know about it and everything, people in the 30s and in their 30s, 40s, everybody's played Mario. So everybody's somewhat of a gamer.
Yeah, I'm full belief that there's a game for everybody. Like,
there is.
If you were to just play the games you like in front of somebody, they may not like them, but if you would take the time to get the interest into what they may like, you'll always find a game. I mean, he liked Overcooked. I got some beat 'em ups and fighting games. We'll play Mortal Kombat with each other, stuff like that. You just gotta,
Yeah.
put that give of like, all right, what would you like?
What?
What would you like to find?
Like, we was playing Sonic's Generation, and we was all taking turns as a family on who could get the best time on each course.
I remember when
so we kind of turned it into a competition too.
I remember before my brother's son was born, we'd all get on to Mario, the 4-player one where you can have all of them on the screen at the same time, the 2D one, not the 3D one. And I forgot, Super Mario Brother World or something like that. It was on Wii or Wii U, and we'd all play at the same time and just have a ball. Because it's, it's fun to play with other people and have games that are more social rather than you just shooting aliens or stabbing aliens or,
Well, I tell you what, Jacqueline is a champ because Ollie was not very old, and we had a good 20-something people up in your house.
Oh yeah,
in the middle
twice.
of the night, just completely took over your house in the name of 2Death for for some pretty epic.
Man, we
LAN
cut the power out how many times? We had to
Oh,
reconfigure everything, and
yeah, we had too many.
the
TVs
second one
hooked
was
up to
pretty
it, so-
good.
Yeah, it was. We set it up a lot better the second time.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out to Miss Cheryl, man. How would you say your mom handled video games growing up?
Mom,
as an adult?
Mom supported it, man. I mean, obviously, being a single mother and, you know, and not really having too much funds. Yeah, let's get your ass outside and play. But then, too, having video games in the house and being in the house playing games, she kind of had a point to when she was like, you know, kind of had a sense of, what I say, calm or whatever, because she knew I was at home playing video games instead of out running the streets. So, you know, I mean, I remember one Christmas she gave me a choice of and I know it was a joke too, but she gave me a choice between a new bed or a PlayStation 2.
Oh, wrong.
Obviously, you know, I was like PlayStation 2, but
Like,
of
Mom,
course
I
I
will
got the
sleep on a
bed
pallet on the
and
floor. Like, all I need is
Right.
3 blankets and a pillow.
That was such
Yeah.
a harsh misjudge, bro. Like telling a young child, all right, I'll get you something that you don't care about or something that you want.
looks like
more than
Austin, you're
anything.
6'4" and you're sleeping on a twin bed. Don't you want a little bit bigger bed you're going to fit on? I'll curl up, fetal position.
Is the bed called PlayStation 2, Mom?
Yeah.
My mom's calling me right now.
Oh, she must have heard us talking about her.
I'll call her
But
back
yeah.
here in a little.
So yeah, Mom was always good. I mean, my dad too. He kind of started it, but then, you know, Mom always pushed it. I remember, you know, too, being even with you, John. I mean, we'd be, you know, 8, 9 years old, and either, you know, Mom or your dad, we'd go up to Roadrunner Video, you know,
Oh my God,
and
Roadrunner.
rent games for the night, and, you know, and just sit there, you know, on the 64 and just play
Yep.
all night and everything. And she didn't care, man. I'd have 4 or 5 people stay the night, and she would just, you know, y'all, I'll bring snacks up in a minute, blah 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 blah, you know, drinks and everything. So yeah,
Right.
I mean,
What kind of soda you want?
yeah, my
Yeah, I
mom
do
was
remember
cool
those
with the thing.
Yeah, I remember those days. Those are the golden era of gaming. When, you know, everything had that little, you know, the split screen co-op and stuff, which is almost like impossible to find now. You know, they had like GoldenEye, Turok, Mario Kart, all those
Yeah,
great
you can
games.
get like a group of 3 friends together, and then, you know, they stay the
Mhm.
night on Friday, and then you rent Mario Party, you know, and then you're up all night playing Mario Party with each other,
Oh,
and
man.
then turn around the next day, you go to their house and everything, and then when the game has to go back, obviously you got to go back to school.
Yeah.
You know,
Ga-
back in the day, it was only like 2-day rentals on games, you know.
Hey, man,
Well,
I
man,
hate,
gaming's changed so much, man. Like gaming has changed so much from that time. Like I can't tell you how many grown-ups, especially when we were growing up, were talking about how the video games will rot your head out. You can't play video games; they're bad for you. Get up and go do something. You got to do something, you know, more with your life than play video games and all this. And then now here we are, you know, the fastest growing sport in the world, and there's little kids making $3 million in a Fortnite tournament, and it's pretty amazing. I just wonder how many moms and dads out there have ate their words and been like, you know what, I was wrong.
well,
this
you
is,
know,
this is a legit thing.
There's 2 different ways of thinking on that one, though, John. It's
Oh,
like,
wait,
to a
you
point,
have.
yeah, video games can make you a better critical thinker in the context of what game you're playing, though. But, I mean, you're out in the real world. I mean, you're not going to need to hurry up and build a fort before you get shot unless you're in a war, you know, and
Yeah.
you're not going to be building forts that fast. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know, you're not going to be
So-
with every purchase wondering if
Hey.
you could min-max your wallet.
Hey, hold on for a minute. Shout out to my dad. He's over here. He's claiming the Super Mario 3 championship over here. He did play some Super Mario.
Shout out to
3,
Dean. Yeah, see, I know Dean, man.
Oh, we had to fix the dry. We had a funny story about my dad's. We had to fix the drywall up in our loft because he was playing Super Mario 3 and he kept getting killed at the same spot, and he got mad and pushed his back up against the wall and busted a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
he
no,
got-
that's
he-
right.
It was in the right
got a
wall
big-
of the attic, too, wasn't it?
Right, right. He got
Yeah,
addicted
I
to that
remember
game.
that.
He used to try to make me and Matthew go to sleep early so he could sit up in the loft and play Super Mario 3. It was funny.
Oh, dude, my mom used to do that with Super Mario 1. We'd all be asleep, and then she'd be up early in the morning, like, meow, meow, like, and Dr. Mario. She really loved Dr. Mario. I,
See, my dad wasn't really into games. But he did like Mario Paint.
well,
Oh,
that's
I
But
remember
more
that. I
art.
remember that game.
that wasn't real technical, you know. It was just click and color,
That's like,
click and fill
MS
in.
Paint and stuff like that. It's like, it's
Yeah.
art, it's creativity, and you could do that in a video game. You could do that with a lot of video games nowadays and stuff like that. I'm just saying,
But
like I
they
said in my
can't.
earlier point, they just need to find the one they like.
Yeah.
Well, it's true, and I think it's a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? I think if you were to say, what did you do today? And you'd be like, oh, well, it was a rainy day, so I sat up in my bed all day and read a book. People are going to be like, oh, well, that was really awesome. What book did you read? And they'd be all, they would think that was a productive thing to do with your time. But if you said, oh, it was a rainy day, so I sat in all day and played the Final Fantasy remake, they're going to be like, oh, God, you sit around all day, play video games? And even today, with the changing landscape, it's still kind of the sentiment that you get when, in reality, it's,
Now,
you're getting just as much, if not more, out of a video game because not only are you reading a book, but you're also being engaged, like actively engaged in a storyline where your decisions can alter the timeline and how things work and how other characters respond to you, and it gets so complicated now. Video games are
if
just like,
you were, do you think that the response would be the same if you were saying you were reading a book all day, but it was like 50 Shades of Grey? So it's like, so you're reading a book, right? Yeah, one-handed. Like,
one-handed.
Reading a book all day, just depends on what that book is, because
Well, I still think the negative or the general consensus would be you're reading, you're actively engaging your mind. Reading is good for your brain. That kind of along those lines. But
Yeah.
people, and it's changing. The view of it is changing.
Well,
I
like to think of
I play games and read subtitles, so
Yeah.
ain't that the same thing? I'm reading a storyline.
I like to think
think
of games as just the enhanced version of what a book was, because back in the day they wrote a story because there was no way to visualize that story. Now that there is a way to visualize this story, it is just the second level of that same creation.
Well, I think it's what Austin said earlier too. It's the generational change.
Mm-hmm.
All of us grew up playing these video games. The boomers are kind of getting older and not not really focusing on it as much. But I mean, I'm sure that there's still grown ass people who and I think that's the other thing is people get so entrenched in a video game that literally, I mean, I've done it. It's like my dad sitting here talking right now. Said he used to wake up from work and me and Matthew would still be up playing video games. I mean, when I played Rogue Spear, dude, I literally would spend days on end, like where my grandmother had to come and be like, John, you need to eat. just playing a video game. So I mean, it gets so addictive if you don't control it. It's different than a book.
Yeah, it's a
I
little.
think the first video game I stayed up through all night to just complete in a day was 007, and I think I beat it on easy, normal, and on hard all in one day.
Yeah, and that video game is like stuff like that is just more engrossing. So it does keep people a little entertained longer, because with the book, you have to use your imagination. You have to visualize the words. You basically drink in the concept and everything like that. With video game, it's really right there in your face, and it's so intense because it's all that visualization, but right there for you. And that's what I think. Video games. I know it's not like a book, but it's that extra step towards imagination, which all writers wanted to go anyways. Because I guarantee anybody who's ever wrote a book would love to have that visualized in a way.
Well, it's like I guarantee you more people have watched the movie Harry Potter than have actually read the book.
Yeah, 100%. And plus, and the book's good. I've read the first one. It's a good book.
And they're immensely popular books.
Yeah.
But the average Joe will go see the movie, but the average Joe is not going to read the book.
And it's
video games are changing, man. Video games are constantly changing. So I mean, back from when you're playing, Pong on a damn Atari or something to now, I mean, we're coming right up, man. And I don't think the COVID-19 is really going to affect anything. But kind of the segue into our next segment is, we have a whole new generation coming up, and I mean, I don't know in this day and age how much it's going to matter. I don't think the graphics are going to necessarily get that much better in this new generation, but certainly things like processing speed and loading times and being able to be engulfed into a storyline is definitely going to be changing in this new generation. I mean, it's going to be the next step forward.
Graphics is not really going to get better until you have actually live actors act in the video game.
Yeah. And
honestly, truthfully,
like
or until you're truly immersed into VR.
Yeah. When VR,
you're not going to get a true thing on a television screen.
Like when VR becomes like a true immersive experience rather than more like gimmicky, because a lot of VR is really gimmicky. But like, I agree that graphics have kind of hit a peak to where even if they could get better, what would be the point? It's like, it's so good right now, it doesn't need to get better. What would need to get better more than anything is just how it plays. Like, that's where I feel that the emphasis of next gen should be on. It should be about capability instead of just every great blade of grass looking immaculate.
Right.
Well, yeah. Instead of me being able to cut every blade of grass in a video game with scissors, I'd rather have a full game.
Yeah.
And have normal grass like every other game.
On the launch.
Yeah. When the game comes out.
On launch.
To be able to play.
No DLCs.
Because I don't mind DLC. It's just the fact that they never do it in a way that's not like shady. I
mind DLCs to progress a game in the future instead of like what they do now is make a new Call of Duty every year.
Yeah.
Use the DLC to progress the game to the next stage of development instead of completely make a whole new game.
And I shouldn't be getting that DLC or at least hearing about it on the day the game comes out. Like when the game comes out and they're saying, "Hey, get our season pass," you're already telling me that there was stuff in here that you didn't put in. That's what you're telling me.
Right.
Exactly.
You're paying full price for this game, but you're not getting the full game.
Yeah, and if you're
going to get an extra 5 weapons and 14 maps and
now some people
and we're going to release them over a year.
There's some people do it well, like with the Dark Souls games and the Souls people. Usually their DLCs don't come out until like months after the games come out because it's like a true DLC, a true addition, not a thing that should have been there in the first place.
Hey, hold on for a minute. My dad said if my generation had the technology back then, we would be playing too.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, my papa Bill put some serious time in some solitaire, boy. He sat there and play. Can you imagine if it was like,
But see, then that's the generational change, though. When your dad was a kid, they had Pong and Atari and everything. So, that's kind of what's created the foundation for him. And I mean, he's true. If you had the rendering and the capacity of what we have now back then. But then again, if that was the case, the technological advance we would be at now wouldn't be compared. We couldn't comprehend.
Yeah, and I think it all just builds on, like Austin saying, the older generation, because it's the way they were thinking then is how that is, and we just build upon that to be more intricate in our thoughts.
They paved the way they paved the way to what is now, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they played hopscotch and card games, but it is
that's where
all that came from.
It's our emphasis on those games and how we improve those, which has gotten us to here. Because they all started from Pong. It's the simplest game as tennis. Is as simple as game as like throwing a ball against the wall and catching it, and it all just evolves into something bigger and bigger as more people are putting their creativity upon it, which is why certain concepts maybe like back in the day, like superheroes back in the day, how they all had capes and they all were like pretty simple, all of them flew, all of them were super strong and stuff like that, and as time went on, they started to get like families, problems, drug addictions, weird abilities, stuff like, things that like humans have. Like, so they started that concept that began right there at that concept just grew and grew into a more fleshed out concept.
Well, and it's forever evolving. I mean, I think if it's like my dad, he said his grandparents freaked out when he was playing pinball I mean, imagine if his grandparents walked in and he was playing Cyberpunk, playing Cyberpunk, and he was
making it like a
all,
15-inch penis and then just sitting over
yeah,
there.
altering his character to have a certain size penis and stuff. It gets so like you're so immersed, you can literally change the color of someone's eyes and what kind of clothes they wear and how they talk to people around them, and then the way you talk to the people around you will determine if you're a good guy or a bad guy and what kind of missions you get. And it's just so complicated and so involved now.
Hey,
It's
Dean, did your parents?
Yeah, but I mean, in all actuality, pinball is also a video game. I mean,
absolutely.
Hey, Dean, did your
it's not
parents
it's
come in
a
and
physical instead digital.
did your parents come in and tell you Satan was in the pinball machine? Like, was Satan in the pinball machine? I just wanted to know. I just want to know if the devil was in the pinball machine, because that's usually the excuse. Because the devil was in the games, and now the devil's not in the games anymore. It'll be in something else later.
Unless you're playing Doom.
Oh yeah, the devil's definitely in Doom. Ah, Jesus Christ.
So moving on, we've had a couple pretty big situations going because Xbox has been a little bit more open with what they have coming out and what to expect, but PlayStation has definitely been much more tight-lipped with the specs and the details on the PS5. But they just recently had an expo kind of situation going on. So
demo.
A what?
A tech demo. It's basically a game that doesn't exist, but it is something that some people put together to show the capabilities of the new engine, and that's basically was it Unreal 5? It's
Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, Unreal 5, and they were just
but they've been showing that now for years, though.
Yeah, and today I guess they just have a more finished product to show.
Well, I mean, still though, I mean, you got to figure you're only 4 months out, and we've seen a picture of a possible controller.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
I've heard rumors that the picture of the console is not accurate. All we know, it comes out in holiday of 2020, and we don't really know much more else about it. I mean, what
might be? I believe that's tentative too. I don't know if any of the systems are going to really be able to make the drop they want to. So, with all the stuff happening and everything like that. So I feel like any next-gen system saying that they're coming out definitively in the holiday season may be a little bit more just kind of making sure people don't panic,
Well, it's true. I mean, I think Xbox, from what I've been hearing from their different conferences and stuff, is, I mean, I have specs for the Xbox all the way down to the dimensions of the console, down to how much it weighs. And I've even heard that they're talking about moving it up to, it says holiday of 2020, that they're going to move it up to right before Thanksgiving of 2020 so that it'd be available for Black Friday. I think that, with online shopping and the way things are going, I mean, I learned that firsthand. My wife taught me firsthand through this quarantine how, I mean, we literally ordered everything. We didn't have to go to Kroger. We didn't have to go nowhere. We ordered everything, and they delivered that shit to our front door.
Yeah.
So,
I do it.
I mean, food, water, everything. So I mean, I don't know how much the virus is going to disrupt it. I mean, obviously you're not going to get the walk-in sales and stuff like that, but someone like you or I or Austin, who, we going to want the Series X or the PS5, if you want it that bad, you're going to end up ordering it online, so I don't know how much it's necessarily going to affect it. I'm just very curious to why the PS5 is being so tight-lipped. I almost view it like kind of funny analogies. I kind of view it as like the campaign strategies between Joe Biden and Donald Trump almost. You know what I'm saying?
like Sleepy said, you're saying,
keeping it quiet,
Well, like y'all saying though too about how the time frame of them coming out is, it's like as soon as they go up for pre-order, you need to pre-order it.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts, because like you said, with this whole Corona thing, I mean, there's a lot of things that's come out, just like the new Tony Hawk 1 and 2 Collector's Edition. They're sold out everywhere. You can't buy them nowhere. Thankfully, I was able to pre-order one, and like I think I was talking to you earlier, John, or I was talking to Aaron. Dude, I should have bought like 5 or 6 of them because they're going for now for $300 on eBay.
Man.
So
Well, I
you
know.
never know. You need to get things when they're on pre-order. Like you said, you have to order them online because with the corn, we don't know how much limited quantity there could be or what their back stock's like right now until factories are up and running to manufacture things.
That is true. And that's another reason why you might not have that big release because they may have some that are stocked up and everything like that, but they don't have it for the, the public and the demand that it's going to be for the Xbox X Series and the PlayStation 5. Now, they could say they're coming out. I find it skeptical, especially with so many things being pushed back that I don't know. I don't feel like I think they may be pushing that back as well. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I just feel like everybody's pushing everything back. And to push it forward is a bold move. I mean
Well, I think to speak to Austin's point,
Mm.
I mean, during the quarantine, we saw the Switch and how literally they were sold out everywhere, and you couldn't find a Switch anywhere.
Yeah.
Not you can't not even really online. I mean, you're gonna have to go
Yeah,
on
you
eBay
couldn't find
bidding
them.
on.
Yeah, you couldn't even find them online. My wife got very lucky to find mine for my birthday before everything got bad.
And you think everybody had that by now. That's been out for grip. I guess people didn't
I mean,
take it
they're
serious.
just now. The orders are just now being fulfilled, and some of them were made months ago. So
Jeez.
it's a good point as far as the thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, plus you talk about something with the price point of the PS5 or a Xbox. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking $500.
$400 or $500.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're talking between 450 and 500. And at least what I've
You
saw
know.
for estimates as far as the PS5 and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 500.
The two consoles and the information that's available right now to what we have, I mean, to the general public of like again, real gamers, it all comes down to like more preference. I mean, yeah, you have more exclusive titles on each console. What Xbox has, Gears and Halo, and and people always say, well, why does Microsoft and Sony? Well, have you ever thought how Nintendo never releases, Mario to anybody? How Mario is only on Nintendo? It's
Yeah.
kind of like the same thing with, Microsoft and Sony.
And also, like,
But too, with the generational change is where we're seeing if you all seen the video of the new what supposedly the new PlayStation 5 controller can do. Like it has a built-in like moving touchscreen in the middle of it, and it's like a screen that you can see what's on your TV. But like, say you're playing Fortnite and you have them extra buttons, you can tap the screen and go on and quick move to that slot and everything.
oh snap!
If
So they're taking like a Switch design where they're putting it like a portable kind of thing on the controller. Like
I don't think it's going to be a full motion screen. It didn't look like it was a full playable motion screen. It looked like it was more of like, should you say a 3DS? How the top screen was the actual game, but the bottom screen was kind of like an inventory or some, like an inventory or kind of like extra button type of, function.
Okay, kind of like with the PS4, it has that middle face screen. That face button that usually opens the inventory and stuff like that, but it's like more functionality than that though.
Yeah. So like say you're going to be playing RPG and you're playing on the screen, and then say your controller is going to show the map.
Okay, and you can like do quick commands on that in the game.
Yes, and then you can do quick commands from that screen, that translates into the game. That's only if it's, true. This is just a video. Again, we don't know a lot because Sony hasn't released a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then too, with the generational change, people kind of have not spoken about how Microsoft has actually progressed also with generational changes with their new handicap accessible controllers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they have these controlling pads that, now it's changed to where now people with, handicap abilities can now, engage into gaming also.
I think that's dope.
Well, I think it is dope that they're branching out with different things with their controllers and reaching out to different demographics. I think that this, for me, this generation is very interesting to me because it's not such a smooth this is the new generation because, both the PlayStation came out with the PS4 Pro, the PS, this and that. And the Xbox was even worse when they came out with the Xbox One S and Xbox One X and Xbox One S Plus. And, it's just, they come out with all these different, different, like, and they enhance it just a little bit. So instead of us having to wait until the next console comes out to get all of these enhancements that we've, technological advancements that we've been able to make, they're releasing the same console with a different little name on it, like it's an iPhone, and and now you're getting eased into the new generation instead of like before. Before when you went from the PS2 to the PS3, you were like, "Oh my freaking god! Like this is amazing!" It blew your mind. Yeah. Well, now it's like it's not like that anymore.
3 to 4 wasn't even. 3 to 4 didn't seem so massive of a jump either. Now 4 to 5 seems so slight of a jump when it comes to graphics that because like look at Ghost of Tsushima. They just had a video of that. That looks like it could be on a 5. I don't know. That can't be. Like, and like if you didn't tell me that wasn't on a 4, you could have told me that was just like with The Last of Us. If you told me that wasn't on the 4 and that was on the 5, I would believe you because I don't really know the difference that much as far as graphical because you've hit kind of a wall. What it's going to be more than anything, I think, is just what are you going to give me as far as a game, what's it called, offering? What are you offering as games? What are your varieties? I think that's what's going to be with the next generation because if you look at the Switch is not a next generation console. That's last generation. Like, it doesn't really do very well on anything that's very,
But it's about nostalgia also.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They are based on gameplay more than anything, and that's what keeps Nintendo in the game because they're not about keeping up with graphics.
Well, to Sleepy's point, too, as an Xbox guy, I was pumped to hear that this is going to be the first generation that on launch, the Xbox is going to be more advanced than the PlayStation. Because in the past, it's always been catch up. The PlayStation was always faster, it had a bigger CPU, and had whatever the situation was. The PlayStation always had the edge in the specs, and the Xbox was always trying to catch up. Well, now this is going to be the first generation where, by the specs, the Xbox has the advantage and is a more powerful console, which has never been the case. Well, but now here it is that now that it's here. It's not that big of a deal. So now it's like, okay, well, we're on an even playing ground with the specs, but now it's still down to exclusives. It's still down to games.
Well, I got a theory on that though. With the Xbox being now more of the front runner, is that I believe here soon, Xbox is going to try and make their jump into VR. PlayStation's done it. Xbox hasn't even talked about it yet, but. How the Oculus are basically a subcontract of Microsoft, and they run the Microsoft processing and everything, and and that's how Microsoft kind of actually works. Instead of how Sony works, they just release something and then they just like you say continue to repackage and with extra things. And how they both do, Microsoft has taken the reviewer's point before they kind of make their jump into the video game system. Like Sleepy was saying, right now you're not polished, but if you come with a console that's powerful and then next thing you know, in a year or two, you pop out a polished VR system, what is going to blow up?
Yeah, I think if the Xbox would come out with almost any polished product that didn't have any freaking microtransactions with it, they would be killing right now because the Xbox problem is not power. It's not graphics. Their problem is like with this last conference, it's their marketing. It's what they put out there because this last conference was a gameplay conference. And there was no freaking
Blame EA Sports.
Yeah, there was no freaking gameplay in almost any of those games except the very first one, which was the only one that was interesting. And that's their problem. Their showstopper was Assassin's Creed. Now, if your showstopper is Assassin's Creed, you already got a problem because that means that you're stopping at Ubisoft and not your own products. And that's
I'm curious why they didn't go with Halo Infinite and why they didn't show us some more of Halo.
Yeah,
Get that. I mean,
exactly.
that's what would ignite the base. You know what I'm saying? It's an
Exactly.
exclusive, and it's the fan favorite.
They showed 10 games which nobody's talking about or even cared about. Like it says Assassin's Creed. Now, PlayStation showed one game and people were talking about it afterwards. And that's the thing. They need to consolidate, do their stuff. Like third party is fine, but I can get third party on any system. I can get that probably on the Switch, PlayStation, or the computer. What are you gonna give me? And I think
Well,
that's
you know
what
why they
Microsoft.
show Assassin's Creed though is because it's the viewpoint though. You
Yeah,
know, this is where you can be at a high vantage point and be able to see the capacity
yeah.
of
But
the distant view of graphic detail.
but you
Well, it's
know,
also very close to launching. The game's about to come out soon, so I mean,
yeah,
it's not.
and plus you know you're gonna be able to get that on the PlayStation or the computer. So it's the thing is, it's like, why do I need to get your system to play it? That's the thing they have to answer for people. And what you do, and what Sony does, and I know people get annoyed when you say it, is that they put out things that you can only get here. Because check it, Final Fantasy Remake came out. That's an exclusive. Also, Nioh 2, and I believe another game came out that only comes out on PlayStation. But those are the smaller games hitting those other crowds that the Xbox is missing while we're all waiting for Halo Infinite. You know, like
Right.
if you
I
would,
mean, hey, Xbox basically has Halo, Gears, Fable,
yeah,
and what Ori. I
yeah,
mean,
Ori and the Blind Forest. Now they just let out Gears Tactics, which is a good game, but you don't hear a lot of people talking about it, which is a shame. You know, because it's a good game. It's just the fact they need to be able to put out those middle titles, those titles that grab the middle ground while you're waiting for the big ones.
well,
Mm.
and I think it'll continue on, just like you were talking about with the Nintendo Switch. I mean, each company has their niche. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I really think, I mean, I really think that they're going to continue to do what they're doing. I mean, because they're all been successful. You don't really hear about any of them going under or having issues. I mean, I've heard PlayStation's having some issues
Mm-hmm.
that they're actually losing money per console, but they're selling so many of them. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
mean,
you
they're
kind of
they're
making
selling
it
a lot more than Xbox is, but Xbox is making more money per system.
true. I think
So
that I think they need to just focus on software instead of hardware because their hardware is straight, but their software is just lacking. You know, like it's just there's nothing really to drive me here if I can get this anywhere else. And hold on, just for your dad, I'm gonna say this: it's in your pocket. That's what he wanted me to say. And so,
what's in your pocket?
what's in your pocket?
You know, and I think with the new consoles, what people more want is it's more like frame rate. What's going to
Mhm.
refresh faster to where I'm not going to have that lag? And I mean, too, with the Xbox having, you know, and this is a huge capacity for a console, you know, having 12 teraflops of, you know, computing performance,
Mhm.
you know, that's massive for a console of, you know, these generations now. Consoles are starting to now be computer formatted almost to where,
Oh yeah.
you know,
I mean,
you're going to
the new
start,
Xbox looks like a tower.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I think it's
So,
the
I mean, it's frame rate.
and I but you know it's gonna be what they do with that power. You know, what are you gonna bring to me? What's interesting here with that power? You know, like because like check it, PlayStation, God of War, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man 2. I could think of just a litany of games that I am ready to play. But I need to you need to have that same thing for the Xbox. Xbox needs to have that same. I need this whole roster of games. I need to be hyped to play them, and they're only going to be here, not everywhere else. You know, and I think
Well, and
Right,
then
right
two,
now, the only one is Infinite. That's the only one, the only launch game that they have that's an exclusive that they have announced that gets anyone excited is Infinite. And
yeah,
to be honest, I'm eventually going to get the damn thing too. I'm probably going to end up waiting until February, April tax time or something to be able to justify the purchase. But you know, I'll be getting an Xbox Series X just strictly because of Halo. I
yeah.
mean, just because that's what I play. That's what all my friends who I play video games with play. So I mean,
Just think if
I'm
they
a, I'm
had
a multi
five
I'm
you
a
know,
games.
multiplayer player. You know what I'm saying?
but
So it's
hey, but I'm going to take it back to what something Sleepy said earlier, you know, about graphics. Don't, you know, I'm good with the graphics. You know, what's the point of making them better? And then two, the only main way for you to get the graphics from the console is for you to have a TV capable of being able to render them graphics.
Exactly. Like
You know,
4K,
can you afford a $1,000 8K TV?
Yeah.
You know, to be able to play in the quality? No, you got your original 1080.
Yeah. You know, like a lot of people are, I guess, and this is both systems, are like banking on you to have the money to buy the stuff to make this the most optimized it could be, which most people are not, because a lot of people, they may
That's
want
probably
that.
why they go hand in hand, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's big business. It's, hey, we're going to put out a console that people are going to need to buy a new TV to be able to actually, you know, take the full experience of this console,
But I think most
you
people
know,
are
its
gonna.
capabilities.
I think most people are gonna
Oh.
wait until that price drop, because I mean, right now there's no big difference to get a PS5 unless there's an exclusive game that's or even an Xbox X Series, unless there's a game that's only coming out to that console. Because if it's gonna also come out on the 4 or the Xbox One, I'm gonna get it there. Like, it's just like I need a reason to move to the next, the next console. So, I'm sure they'll be giving that to you as closer that it gets out. But I feel like with a lot of people, they need a little bit more reason to leave the ship.
Mine would be mine. I'll tell you this. My reason to be able to move up would honestly be memory. Because nowadays, you know, games, and I'm gonna call them out, Call of Duty bastards, y'all are putting out games that will take up an original Xbox, you know, one that has, you know, just a 500 gigabyte hard drive. I mean, this game's almost a freaking 200 gigabyte game.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
That's the biggest game in like history. I don't think
You know, so as games progress, they're gonna you know, as games progress, and obviously nowadays is, you know, graphics and, you know, how everything was on a cartridge, now disc, and then Blu-ray, and then now, you know, we're on the double Blu-rays. You're going to have games here soon that are going to be a damn, you know, terabyte.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fun. It's funny to me. I mean, the PS5 is going to support screen resolutions up to 8K, and it's like you guys were talking about earlier, like buying new TVs. It's like these companies that are pushing these 4K televisions, and you still can't even hardly get 4K programming.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can't hardly find a cable provider that's going to even really offer 4K besides DirecTV.
I think it's too
But now
hard of a
consoles are
vanity
trying to push 8K.
Yeah,
Right.
It's too hard of a vanity buy. You can only get people to spend on so much, especially in these times. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody was like, well, I'm probably going to get that PS5 or the Xbox X Series, but I don't think they're ready to go ahead and get the 8K TV with it. You know, like,
I will say Xbox dropped the ball with the damn name. This whole Xbox Series X. And when they switched it from Xbox 360 then to Xbox One, now it's Xbox Series X. It just, I don't know. To me, there's no continuity in the names. It's confusing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
too much.
Because you're going to go and you're going to say, can I have an Xbox One X? And they're going to sell someone an Xbox One X, and they actually want it the Series X.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of confused moms.
All right, well, there's a whole different price point on them too.
Yeah.
There'll be a whole different price point.
Well,
It's either like you said, paying $5 or $3.
A grandma getting little Timmy the new Xbox when she goes to the store, and she's like, "Oh, I need that Xbox X, please." And they're not know what they're talking about. She's like, "Oh, it's only $200. Great." And the little Timmy's
true. Well, grandma, you better keep that damn receipt.
Hey, grandma,
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, keep them receipts.
Grandma, what's the
They certainly dropped the ball.
Get forward.
They definitely dropped the ball with the naming of the console. I think it's silly as hell.
On that console.
Well, what would you think of what would you prefer the name to be?
I think they should have tried to keep it similar to the PlayStation. I mean, I think it's very simple.
Xbox.
Just
keep going.
PlayStation 2, PlayStation
2, 3, 4, 5.
Xbox.
So then Xbox. So then you think Xbox 360. So then the Xbox One
2.
should have been Xbox 720.
No.
Xbox One should have been Xbox 3
or 540. No, well, then all right.
Xbox 3.
No, it should be Xbox Next. That's what it should be. It's got the X, and you make the big X in the middle of the word. It'll be great. It's like the Nintendo Switch.
I think they should have just went back to Xbox. Just start over Xbox.
Oh, just like games going back to the original name.
Yeah, it's like Modern
Xbox.
Warfare.
I mean, you can't go and get a regular Xbox anymore. So I mean, who's going to get confused? Let me get the Xbox. Okay, you're not asking for Xbox One. You're asking for the Xbox, or should I say, or should have just been X? It should have been X rectangle, or X Tower.
It's silly to me.
I think PlayStation.
There's some people making a whole. My thing is, there's people that's working in that department at Microsoft who's making a whole lot of fucking money, and the best they came up with was Xbox Series X.
Series X.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. They made a whole lot of money for a whole.
Sounds like a different genre of X-Men movie.
Series X. You got like Wolverine on the box and stuff. That would make it cooler. I might be getting into them now. Get Marvel in on it. See if Disney will buy Xbox. No.
Well, guys, listen, man, we're up against the time here. We got 10 minutes left in our time segment, so we're gonna go ahead and hit it with the "Aye, bruh."
Aye, bruh.
Right.
Austin, since you are our guest of honor, man, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Oh, you want me to go? All right then. Well, my story is about a drunk college dude trying to play real life Frogger in Clemson, South Carolina.
Oh my God.
So obviously this man was drunk one night with his friends, and obviously they thought it'd be cool on a four-lane highway to play real life Frogger, and he's like, "Here, dude, hold my beer," and so here he goes. Next thing you know, he hops out in the first lane and gets smacked by an SUV. Next thing you know, the dude goes to the hospital, and I'm just hoping that his insurance had a no morons clause on it, because I mean, that's.
All right, bro. Let me ask. So he lived?
Yeah, he lived. I mean, surprise. I mean, when you're drunk, and you get hurt, your body's almost like Gumby. I mean, I'm surprised if he didn't get up and try to hop, and start over. It's like, oh, I got 2 more lives left. Let me restart.
The truck?
SUV.
SUV.
But my thing is I wonder what the speed limit was on the highway. I mean,
I bet he got hit at like 20 miles per hour.
Was this dude in the neighborhood? Yeah, I was like, is this like 25 in the neighborhood? 45 is.
All right, bro. Listen, in the day of 2020, how in the fuck did his friends drop the ball and not get this on video?
Yeah, for real. Like, why wasn't this like on
Hey, it's probably out there somewhere. I mean, but then again, they probably tried too, and they probably all got smacked up.
Oh,
I wonder if they threw stuff out in the middle of the street as just like in the game of Frogger, where you have to hop and get certain things as you cross.
They probably threw their cell phones out. I was like, you got to hop on this. You get extra points. I mean, I don't know what them college people do out in Clemson, man. I mean, South Carolina, I mean.
As soon as you said real life Frogger, I knew alcohol was involved.
Oh, dude, how could it not?
Hey, it has to be.
I mean, if that was a sober decision, then I'm gonna have to worry about his mental.
I mean, but if you think about it, us as kids, we used to play all the time on Hikes Lane. It's just like, hurry up, run to the median. All right, we're safe. All right, wait, run across again. All right, we're safe. Cool.
I was reading on that real life Frogger where we had to take block by block movement in the middle of the street.
Got to sit there up. White
it's
lines.
Like Russian roulette.
All right, do I go up? No, go to left. Go left. All right, now go up.
Let's see.
All right, we're doing.
He's probably
how
in there.
How best it would be if you allowed your friend to control where you move, though. You know what I mean? So it's like really like
jump, left, forward.
It's like that movie Gamer, where you got to control, where they could control those guys, and they were like in this like battle royale and stuff like that. And little buddy stopped and started like teabagging him, and then the guy who was being controlled was like, "Are you fucking serious, kid?" Like, because they were killing him.
Yeah. They had Gerard Butler in it or something.
Yeah, that was horrible.
I like to watch that
horrible
again.
movie. It's awful.
All right, so for mine, mine's a lot different than that one. Mine involves Counter-Strike, and it's a horror story from France. It's about an obsessed gamer named Julian who was a little vindictive. So one of the many ways you can kill dudes in Counter-Strike involves melee kills with your knife. So it's a thing that most people resort to after running out of ammo, or you do it because you're either awesome or you're lame. But depending on if you're the victim or not, it kind of depends on if you like it. And unfortunately for Michael, Julian thought it was pretty lame. And after getting knifed in the game, Julian made it his life's mission to track down the man responsible for committing such an affront. He eventually discovered that he lived only a few miles away from him. And in a completely rational response, Julian drove to the man's house, broke in, and stabbed him in the chest with an actual knife.
Wow.
Missing his heart by only a few inches.
Bruh.
The judge only gave him 2 years.
It's only what? Now that's the real bruh part of the
He was
story.
white, huh?
That's the real
White privilege.
Yeah, that's the white move. That's a white judge move. Because bruh, he stabbed a man in the chest, and he was like, you know what? No, I think he knew his lessons. I mean, it was Fortnite, bro. What are you gonna do?
Hey, he probably got away with it saying it was self-defense with all the swatting going on, you know?
Yeah, if him going to stab a person is like just every day in Florida, that's not surprising. 2 years for stabbing a man, now that's surprising. That's like, what? Like, all right.
That's probably basic in Florida. In Florida, you know, they do bath salts and eat people.
Yeah, that's just like a basic day in Florida, bro. Like, anyways, let's get to mine.
I mean, I can't lie and say that there's not been some times that if I found that little fucker on the other end of the screen, I'd smack him in his mouth. But stabbing someone, that's a little much.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean,
Everybody's talk shit on the other line.
you just gotta go up there 1 for 1, bro, and you just stab him. But it was a game. All right, let me get to mine. Mine's not even as crazy as you guys. There is a dude named Li Ming in Beijing, China, who basically lived in a gaming cafe, for 6 years. He just left to eat and shower, and he basically gamed on this for 6 straight years.
Yo, where's Donovan at when you need him to be watching, bro? This is what Control Point Gaming Center needs.
Exactly. Let's talk about dedication for a second, guys.
Where was this at again?
It was in Beijing, China.
Dude, don't they have like call girls everywhere on the corner, and he spent 6 years in there?
Yeah, man. He probably went out, got the call girl, and came back to the cafe because he was like, now that I'm done, it's time to finish this game of RuneCraft, baby. Let's do it.
RuneScape. All right,
bro.
These internet cafes cost money. They're not free.
Yeah.
So to just show up and pay all this money.
He bought a month. He bought a membership.
You might as well buy the shit and play it at your house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he came here.
Yeah, but
for 6 years.
Out there, internet's limited though.
It is limited, but
he might not have no friends, man. He might, that's his way of socializing, I guess.
That's true, but then maybe China's a little bit different in how they do these things because one, he obviously didn't have a job. He spent 6 years here. So was his job playing games? Was he just a Twitch streamer
or developing?
So what are y'all saying? They go to the internet cafe to go fat one out? I mean, what the hell? I mean, they have to have internet available.
Now, I think we should both come to the realization that is a thing and that has happened several times in many places. But it's not legal. I'm not saying they should do that. But cats jacking off internet cafes, let's just admit that's happened. Like we live on it.
Hey, but what if he's like one of them people who like to just go to them to be social? I mean, he don't have the socialism at home. Yeah, it's like, you going to Starbucks.
We start talking about jacking off in an internet cafe with 11 viewers at 3.
Well, he puts up his OnlyFans.
That's going to happen.
He puts up his OnlyFans page, and he's like, all right, guys, it's time to crank it out.
Well, the police are arresting him, and he's like, "Don't forget to like and subscribe."
Sanitize the keyboards before I leave.
Cash apps, ling ling, motherfucker.
Man.
Long Ling.
All right, bro.
Long
Ling, bling, bling.
It's your boy Long Ling back again.
Long Ling, I pay $5 for the internet cafe.
We're gonna
He's like,
see.
sir, we've already went over this. You can't do this in our internet cafe.
We're gonna see
Told
how
you
long we
2
get the
hours
cop show.
maximum now, buddy.
And then it becomes the internet show to see how long you can do this before the cops show up again.
It's so
Like, I
ridiculous.
will not let you suck my dick for more time.
Well, I believe that is a show, guys. I do have to work in the morning, and man, I think it was a pretty lively debate. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
it was
yep.
definitely
I
fun, man.
appreciate
This was definitely our first time having a guest on, and it worked out much better than what I anticipated. I was expecting more technical difficulties and things like that, so it definitely worked out great. And Austin, you were great, and definitely were the great contributor to the conversation.
Yeah,
Very knowledgeable.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. Again, I'm love being a part of this movement you got and this, this business you're all building, and and it's something that's going to be amazing for this community. And I mean, I love to build a community up, and I'm just proud to be able to know the people who are building this, and proud to be able to support and be a part of this movement.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, we appreciate
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
We appreciate all the love and support, man.
Hey, and all
you've
y'all
been the
watching
first-
right
the first
now,
ones that-
if y'all watching right now, y'all need to like and subscribe to Two Deaf Gaming.
Yep.
We are a local community here in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're here for the community, where we have community events, free community events. I'm registered, with money prizes and prizes, family friendly, everything, So please, if y'all want to, just like the page, subscribe. When this COVID thing's over, we're gonna have a good community event, good launch party. John Sleepy got set up. They're just begging to get this. They're itching to get this thing going, and just stay with us, man, and be patient for them to get this thing. They just got to add the jet fuel, y'all. So let them do their thing.
Well, thanks for the plug.
As long as students, we get the green light, brother, we will be rescheduling the launch party, and we will definitely be having a good time. So we, obviously it wasn't the ideal time to start this up, but that was unforeseen when we first started it back last summer. So
good thing is now you just got more time to plan, bro.
That's true. That's true.
And
but we
time to perfect the craft.
All that you've done, Austin, man. You've definitely been there day one, man, and it's fundamentally helped all this grow. You've been there, one of the first ones to show up, one of the last ones to leave at pretty much all of our events. We definitely appreciate you, and that's why we wanted you to be the first.
Man, I'll be here again. I'm always here for y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. Well, guys, everyone who showed up, I appreciate it. Our average amount of viewers almost doubled this week from last week, so from last podcast. So we definitely appreciate every single one of you guys. Do not be scared to engage us. Please, my dad was very active today, but we love when you guys ask questions,
listen, comment.
So we'll definitely shout you out if you comment, man. So we appreciate every single one of you and all the love. And please keep coming back Sundays at 9.
Yeah, and
you get more people to engage. If y'all get more people engaged, I'd love to have y'all a Q&A and everything. Y'all knowledgeable.
And if you have any
interview you too about y'all's progressing this.
If you have any suggestions about topics you'd like us to talk about, stuff like that, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Go ahead and message us, and we can try to work up something to do a little research, and we may put it up as a suggestion. Also, want to put out there that I'm looking for people to do some sort of fan art. If you're out there, if you maybe could make some cool chibi anime thing or something like that of us, we could put it up in the slide, and it could be, something that we could build in the community, like community art.
I think I might got somebody for you out there, Sleepy. Melis, if he's watching, Melis.
Yeah.
He's a decent artist, good artist and everything. I mean, anime artist too, so.
Love it. Give us the pictures and all sorts of your ideas, and we can put it in the scroll while we're having the podcast.
Any constructive criticism is welcome also, man. If you guys have a good idea or a suggestion of how we can make our podcast better, how we can do anything better, you won't offend us. So please just reach out and give us your suggestions. We'll definitely take it and try to implement it.
All right. With that being said, guys, thanks for showing up, and you all have a nice night.
You all too. Thank you all, and good night, everybody.
All right.
Yep. Good night.
To death.